You are 65 and can't forgive your past mistakes. Let my grace wash it away. I see you sitting there right now, carrying a weight that was never meant for your shoulders. You are 65 years old, and instead of basking in the golden warmth of a long life, you are shivering in the cold shadow of your past. I have pulled up a chair right beside you on the quiet porch of your heart, just to be near you. I want you to take a deep, slow breath. I know exactly how heavy that breath feels in your chest. You have been walking with a suitcase filled to the brim with every misstep, every harsh word spoken in anger, every moment of selfishness, and every choice you desperately wish you could travel back in time to undo. You play these scenes over and over in your mind, like an old movie reel that never stops turning, especially in the middle of the night when the house is completely silent and the rest of the world is asleep. I am not here to point a finger at you, and I am certainly not here to add another stone to the heavy load of guilt you are already carrying. I am speaking to you right now as your closest, most eternal friend. I am the one who formed you, the one who has known the intricate depths of your soul since long before you took your very first breath in this world. I know the tears you wipe away quickly before anyone else can see them. I know the ache in your throat when you look at old photographs or think about the people you feel you have let down. You look at your grown children, or perhaps you stare into the empty spaces of your home, and a cruel whisper of regret tells you that you ruined things. It tells you that your best days were wasted on foolish decisions, that you are somehow disqualified from peace, and that it is simply too late for you to start over. But my dear friend, I need you to hear my voice louder than the voice of your regrets. It is not too late. You feel an immense loneliness, a profound isolation that comes from believing you are the only one who has failed so deeply. You look around at a fast-moving world that seems to celebrate only perfection and youth, and you feel entirely forgotten. You feel useless, as if your story has already been written, and the final chapters are just meant to be a punishment for the chapters that came before. You wonder, on those exceptionally hard nights, if your mistakes were so great that even I have turned my face away from you. You wonder if my grace has an expiration date, and if you have somehow crossed the line where my love can no longer reach you. I want to tell you, with all the tenderness of a savior who gave everything for you, that I have never looked away, not for a single fraction of a second. I saw the moments you stumbled, yes, but I also saw the profound pain that caused you to trip. I saw the confusion, the fear, and the deeply human frailty that led to those choices. I have collected every single one of your hidden tears, when you felt the most abandoned, the most ashamed, and the most unworthy of love. I was standing right there, holding you up when your own strength gave out. You have spent decades acting as your own most ruthless judge and jury, sentencing yourself to a prison of your own making. You have built walls out of your regrets, thinking they would protect you or somehow pay the debt of your past. But I did not create you to live in a prison of the past. The burden of 65 years of human imperfection is far too much for one soul to bear alone. You were never designed to carry the weight of your own salvation or the impossible standard of a flawless life. I understand exactly how tired you are. I see the mental exhaustion that clouds your mornings and the emotional fatigue that drains your joy. Your heart is bruised from years of quietly whispering apologies to the empty air. Today, I am asking you to stop. I am here to validate the very real, very deep pain of your journey. Your sorrow over your past is a testament to the goodness that still resides in your heart. But you must not let that sorrow become your identity. I am with you now to begin the healing process, to take your hand and lead you out of the shadows of what was and into the light of what can still be. It is strange how time moves, isn't it? You blink, and suddenly you are 65. You look in the mirror and see the lines etched around your eyes, maps of a journey that went by far too fast. I want to talk to you about how this heavy weight came to rest upon your shoulders, because I watched it happen day by day. You did not wake up one morning and decide to carry this crushing load of regret. It happened slowly, almost invisibly. When you were younger, you started with bright hopes. You wanted to build a good life, protect your family, and be someone your loved ones could count on forever. But the world is a fiercely demanding place. It asked so much of you. You had to work hard, pay the bills, and navigate the endless, exhausting pressures of simply surviving. In the middle of that relentless rushing, you had to make split-second choices. Sometimes you were exhausted, running on empty, and you reacted out of deep frustration instead of patience. Sometimes fear took the wheel, and you said things you immediately wished you could swallow back. I saw all of those moments. I saw how the stress of providing and surviving slowly built a subtle wall around your beautiful heart. You built those walls to protect yourself from the harshness of the world, to keep from breaking down when everything felt like it was falling apart in your hands. But the profound tragedy of walls is that while they keep the external pain out, they also lock your internal guilt securely inside. Over the decades, those small bricks of regret turned into a heavy, isolating fortress. You became so busy trying to hold everything and everyone together that the quiet, peaceful whispers of my love were drowned out by the deafening noise of your own self-criticism. The world told you that you had to be perfect, that success meant never making a mistake, and that a fractured relationship was a permanent, unforgivable failure. And because you care so deeply, you believed it. You let the natural, messy friction of human relationships convince you that you were a bad parent, a failing spouse, or an unreliable friend. The truth is, you were just human, doing the very best you could with the tools and the wisdom you had at the time. You were navigating a dark storm, trying desperately to keep your fragile boat from sinking. Do you remember the story I told in the book of Mark? My friends and I were in a boat, and a furious squall came up out of nowhere. The waves were breaking over the sides, and the boat was nearly swamped. My friends were terrified, convinced they were going to drown while I was sleeping in the stern. They woke me up, frantic and afraid for their lives. I stood up, looked at the raging wind and the turbulent water, and simply said, "Quiet, be still," and the wind died down immediately, and it was completely calm. I share this memory with you now because you have been living in that furious squall for decades. The bitter waves of your past mistakes have been crashing over the sides of your mind every single night, threatening to pull you under the dark water. You have felt like you are drowning in memories you absolutely cannot change. But my dear friend, I am in the boat with you. I have always been in the boat with you. You have been trying to bail out the heavy water all by yourself, exhausting your spirit and draining every ounce of your peace. In that exact same book of Mark, I saw how incredibly tired my friends were from the relentless demands of life, and I told them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." That is my sincere invitation to you today. You have fought the wind and the waves for 65 long years. You have let the loud voices of the world dictate your worth and allowed the ghosts of yesterday to steal your peace. The anatomy of your burden is not a mystery to me. It is simply the accumulated debris of a long, deeply human life lived in a fragile, broken world. You lost your way because you forgot that you were never meant to navigate the storm alone. Every time you stumbled, you picked up a rock of guilt and put it in your pockets, thinking you had to carry the heavy punishment yourself. But I am asking you to let me calm the storm in your mind right now. Let the fierce winds of your self-doubt hear my voice, and let there be a great, immediate calm in your weary soul. You have reached a point at 65 where the world tries to tell you that your story is mostly finished. Society has a very strange way of measuring the value of a life, often looking only at youthful energy, perfect achievements, or a flawless track record. Because your track record has some bruises, broken pages, and chapters you wish you could tear out completely, you have convinced yourself that the time for a beautiful ending has passed. You look at the clock on the wall and the calendar on your desk, and a heavy sorrow whispers that it is simply too late to fix the things you broke. You believe that because you cannot travel back in time to undo your mistakes, you are condemned to live the rest of your days sitting in the uncomfortable shadow of your own guilt. But my beloved friend, I need you to look into my eyes right now and listen to the profound truth of my grace. My grace does not operate on a human clock, and it certainly does not recognize the phrase, "too late." I do not measure the worth of your life by the mistakes you made in your 20s, your 40s, or even yesterday. I want to show you exactly how my forgiveness works, because you have been fundamentally misunderstanding my heart. You have been treating your past like a massive ledger, a heavy accounting book that you keep open on the table of your mind. Every night, you review the debts you feel you owe to your children, to your friends, to your spouse, and to me. You tally up the words spoken in anger, the moments of selfishness, and the times you were absent when you should have been present. You stare at that massive debt and you weep, because you know you do not have the emotional currency to pay it back. But I want to tell you something that should lift the entire weight of the world off your tired shoulders. I took that ledger from you a very long time ago. When I gave my life for you, I saw every single one of those 65 years. I saw every failure, every flaw, and every regret before you even lived them. And with absolute joy, I took the pen and wrote across every single page of your life that you are entirely forgiven and your debt is paid in full. There is no outstanding debt hanging over your head. You do not have to spend another precious second of your life trying to earn my love or prove that you are finally good enough. You already have my whole heart. You think of forgiveness as something you must achieve by punishing yourself enough, but that is the exact opposite of my grace. My grace is a free, flowing river that washes over the darkest parts of your history, leaving nothing behind but a clean slate. I want you to literally feel the chains of your past decades snapping and falling to the floor right now. The mistakes that have haunted your quiet moments are no longer a permanent stain on your soul. They are simply the very things that make my mercy so profoundly beautiful in your life. You have been exhausted from holding your breath, terrified that if you let your guard down, the shame will consume you. I am telling you to exhale. Exhale the guilt. Exhale the feeling of uselessness. You might wonder what purpose you have left now that the years have slipped by. You might think your hands are too tired and your spirit is too worn out to make a difference. But in my eyes, your seasoned heart is your most magnificent asset. The pain you have survived, the tears you have cried, and even the mistakes you have made have carved out an incredibly deep well of empathy within your soul. You understand the fragility of life better than anyone who has never stumbled. The time you have left on this earth, whether it is years or decades, is not a waiting room for the end. It is a wide open field of pure grace. It is more than enough time to experience true peace, to love without the barrier of shame, and to be a quiet, understanding harbor for others who are also secretly hurting. You do not need a time machine to find redemption. You only need to accept the hand I am reaching out to you right now. Let the warmth of my unconditional love thaw the cold places in your heart, and realize that you are completely, beautifully, and eternally forgiven. Now that you have let that heavy suitcase of past mistakes fall to the floor, I want us to look at the beautiful path stretching out in front of you. You are 65, and this is not the sunset of your purpose. This is the dawn of your freedom. I am sitting right here on the porch with you, and I want to give you a gentle plan for the precious days ahead. You do not need to climb a mountain to prove that you have changed or that you are worthy of love. The steps we are going to take together are quiet and focused entirely on restoring your daily peace. The first thing I am asking you to do is to retire from your position as your own harshest judge. You have held that gavel for decades, striking it down every time a memory of failure crosses your mind. Today, I want you to hand that gavel directly to me. I have already dismissed the case against you. Whenever an old regret knocks on the door of your mind, trying to steal your joy, I want you to pause. Do not invite it in for a cup of coffee. Do not entertain the shame. Instead, whisper to yourself that your greatest friend has already taken care of this, and let the thought drift away like a dry leaf on the wind. The second step is about how you connect with the people you love. You have spent so much time looking at your grown children or your old friends through the lens of what you did wrong. You carry the silent hope that if you just apologize one more time, maybe the past will magically erase itself. But I want you to stop focusing on repairing yesterday. Yesterday is securely held in my forgiving hands. I want you to focus purely on loving them today. Reach out to someone you care about, not to bring up old wounds or to say you are sorry for the 100th time, but simply to share a gentle moment of grace. Ask them how their day is going. Listen to their voice without the heavy filter of your own guilt. Call them just to say you are proud of them. Send a message to let them know they are deeply cherished. If the relationships are too broken or the distance is too vast, then I want you to direct that exact same grace inward. Forgive yourself with the unconditional mercy that I have freely given to you. You cannot change the chapters that have already been written, but you have absolute control over the ink we use to write the rest of your story. And we are going to write it together with deep love, patience, and a quiet confidence in my redemption. Your 65 years of life experience are an irreplaceable treasure. The world is full of younger people who are terrified of making the exact same mistakes you once made. They do not need a perfect mentor. They need someone who has walked through the fire and survived. They need the comforting presence of someone who knows that a shattered life can be pieced back together by divine hands. They need someone who can look at them with kind, understanding eyes and tell them that grace is absolutely real. That is your new, beautiful purpose. Your bruised and mended heart is the very tool I will use to bring comfort to others who are secretly hurting. You are not useless, and your time is not over. You are uniquely equipped to be a steady beacon of hope for those who feel lost in their own storms. I want you to wake up every single morning and step outside, even if it is just for a few quiet moments. Feel the morning sun on your weathered face, or listen to the peaceful sound of the rain. Let the air in your lungs be an undeniable reminder that my mercies are brand new every single morning. The day ahead of you is untarnished by the mistakes of your past. It is a blank canvas given to you by a friend who believes in you implicitly. Let every breath you take be a testament to the fact that you are still here for a profound and beautiful reason. Do not let the thief of regret steal one more afternoon from you. You are deeply loved. You are completely forgiven, and you are forever cherished by me. I will never leave your side, and I will walk holding your hand through every remaining chapter of your beautiful life. If you feel the heavy weight finally lifting from your tired shoulders today, I want you to leave your burden in the comments below. Type, "I receive your peace, Lord," so that I know you are resting safely in my grace. And please subscribe to the channel so we can sit together on this porch and walk together in my peace every single day.